gotta be kidding me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 32. Today is Thursday, January 21st, 2021.
Easy for you to say.
Today we talk about sports, championships, science, Twitter trends, and hot topics, and we give our music reviews. We have a little different setup today, and from now on, we're going to talk about Philadelphia sports as a whole at the end of the pod.
Yes.
So that you don't have to be bored by our favoritism.
And if you do only like us for our Philadelphia sports takes, we will be at the end of the pod. Besides football, we will do the football at the end of the sports segment. We'll put it in the whatever you call it, the letterhead.
The letterhead. Some housekeeping items. I don't look like garbage for the second week in a row.
Woo!
I am now sitting in a chair. Well, it's my couch, but now, I don't look uncomfortable, and I think that'll be nice.
That'll help you pod.
Going forward, I think I'll be more relaxed and not look weird.
Yes.
The other thing I would like to mention is I've been taking cold showers every now and then.
What does that have to do with anything?
It's life-changing, and I want the viewers to know.
For your skin, for your energy, for your
energy, muscle recovery.
Like cold? Like
yeah, like to shock your body. Like, when athletes get in ice baths, it's the same feeling.
Interesting.
So you shock your body. Obviously, it's a little painful, but you can do it for like 30 seconds at a time. Like at the end is what I've been doing. And I don't do it every day because it's kind of torturous. But I'm going to do like 30 seconds, like shock real quick. Like I do all the stuff in warm, and then like at the end I shock it.
Oh, man.
And then I get out. But then, so during you're like, and then you kind of have short breaths, so beware. But
so you're going that cold. You're going cold.
Yeah, I'm going cold. And, but when you get out, it feels amazing. So everyone should try it.
I'm going to try that.
Tidbit of the day.
I'm going to get a shower after this. I'm going to try that out. It'd be fucking freezing.
It's going to feel good. No, it's going to feel good. I'm telling you. Like, right after you get out, you're like, oh, you're so awake.
I take cold showers, not cold, but like semi-cold showers in the summertime. It's so hot here, so it feels good to... And it's better for your skin, and it's better for the environment.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, that's my tidbit of the day.
I don't think I have any housekeeping, so we can go right into sports.
All right, yeah, let's keep it short. Okay, so we had our picks from last week. I won again because you have so much faith in the Ravens.
Well, I had to die on that hill.
You did die. Okay, so first pick, Rams versus Packers. We both picked the Packs. They look good. Aaron Rodgers looks really good. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the Rams, golf's not very good, so. And Rodgers is probably arguably the second best, top 5 quarterback of all time. I mean, just in his ability to pass the ball and read a defense and the things he can do, even at his age, is pretty incredible. So, I mean, I guess one of the best defenses in the league. He made it look pretty easy.
Yeah, he's playing one of his best years this year, I think.
Yeah.
He's really on top of his game.
I think, and I'm kind of joking when I say this, but not really. He had a really bad relationship, I believe, and he was in it for a couple years, and he's single, and he's like just focused fully on football. And, that sounds a little dramatic, but I think like it's a big thing because he doesn't have that drama in his house. He doesn't have that stress, worrying about his girl or whatever. Now he's just worried about football, and he just focused totally on that.
You know who he was dating, right?
Yeah, Danica Patrick, right?
Yeah. So she's really into like stones and all this
crystals and
bullshit. Yeah. So
okay.
She was like, I mean, not judging. You love stones.
Yeah, I don't know who was at fault or what happened with the relationship. Yeah, I know it's probably just toxic, and that's a big thing, If you're a professional athlete or anything you do at a high level, you need to be fully focused. So.
Yeah. Well, good for him. Ravens v. Bills. You died on the Ravens hill. I stuck with the Bills. Bills all the way, baby. I'm telling you, the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. I used to say it was the Chiefs, and we'll get to the Chiefs because they had a little whoopsie. But
yeah, that was close.
The Bills haven't even played their best game yet. They're better than how they're playing right now. Well, yeah, so, like, just imagine.
That game last week, they didn't play that well, honestly.
That's what I mean. I think they're going to win.
Showed up, but I don't know. I don't know if I can pick against my homeboy, but.
Okay, so Browns Chiefs, we both picked the Chiefs, and we're almost both wrong.
Yeah.
Also, let's just say overall these games were pretty boring this weekend.
Pretty bad.
I was in and out of them. I mean, I had them on in the background, but I wasn't like, oh my god, I gotta watch it. It was like kind of boring. And then the Browns Chiefs game looked terrible at the beginning because the Browns were getting kind of pummeled, but they came back. Mahomes got knocked out.
Yeah, I didn't even see that play, honestly. I wasn't watching.
I didn't see the play. I saw the video after. He stands up and he can't, he's not there.
Yeah, he's fucked
It was like one of the staggered, huh? And then
Yeah.
And then they went and he had a concussion, but now they're saying it was a pinched nerve. He's gonna play. So I don't know what it actually was. He looked not there. I think it was a concussion, but
yeah, that's gonna be a big factor. Even if he does play, he might not be 100%, and he might not be fully there mentally. So we'll see.
He's a great player, so I mean, I don't doubt that he'll come out swinging. But I mean, the Bills definitely have a chance. So
100%.
Then the last game is Bucks versus Saints, and I took the Bucks. You went with Drew Brees. Drew Brees is too old, man.
Yeah, he's old as
hell.
He
looks old.
He looks terrible. Old. That was his last game ever, so.
Yeah, he said goodbye, and rightfully so, no offense, but he just
if they started, even if they started Winston, their backup, they'd probably win that game because they had a lot of chances to win, and he threw, 3 picks, and he just looked terrible, so, I mean. I don't know why.
You can't go against Tom in the playoffs, man.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I just thought the Saints defense was good enough, but like I said, if Breeze just plays decent, I think they win. But Breeze plays so bad that they didn't have a chance.
Yeah, so Tom Brady back at it again. It's gonna be Brady versus Aaron Rodgers, and it's gonna be a great matchup.
I don't know who to pick. I can't keep picking against Tom, but it's going to be a good game.
I'm going to take the Packers. So we got Bucks-Packers, first game. Is this Sunday? It's on Sunday, correct?
I don't know. Probably, yeah. It's probably Sunday.
It's only 2 games. So we got Bucks versus Packers. I'm taking the Packers. I'm going to bet against Tom this time.
Man, I can't keep betting against Tom. But
He's burned you.
I have a feeling that it's kind of like the Packers' year. Everything's going their way. But the Bucks blew them out last time. I'm going with Tom.
All right. And Bills Chiefs. I'm going with Bills.
I'm going to stick with the Chiefs.
All right, cool. So we are divided. House divided.
House is divided.
All right, so moving on from all of playoff weekend.
Yes.
The Eagles got a new head coach, so that's big news.
Breaking news, and it just dropped 2 hours ago. I was excited. That's kind of why I wanted to push the podcast back, just so in case they did hire a new coach, we could talk about it a little bit. And you don't know anything about him. I did some research. His name is Nick Sirianni. Hey, Nick Sirianni. He's
fits in Philly.
Yeah, he was. Let's see. He coached for Kansas City Chargers. He was offensive coordinator for the Colts the last 2 years under Frank Reich. In San Diego, he was the receivers coach. I think he worked with Frank Reich when he was offensive coordinator in San Diego. So he's been coaching for about 8 years. He had 2 top 10 offenses when he coached with the Colts the last few years. So that's a good sign. But we don't know too much about him. I mean, he's never coached. He's never been a head coach. He's never called plays, really. He's kind of under the radar. No one else interviewed him. I'm not saying he's a bad choice. I would like to see them go with Deuce Staley because if they were going to go with this guy, which I do have a good feeling about it, honestly. He just has that face. when you see him, and just kind of like you get that vibe like he's going to be a good head coach. You know that face when you see a coach, like, hey, he's probably going to be a good coach. He has that face.
Yeah.
And
it's like Coach O from LSU.
Yeah.
Great coach face.
Saban,
Great coach face.
Yeah. Matt Nagy from the Bears, and what's it called? So I think he's going to be a good coach. Like I said, I would rather see them go with Deuce because they're both kind of similar resume-wise. And I think Deuce deserves it, and he's well-respected. But I think they wanted to go outside the organization, get a new voice, get a new face. So, yeah, I mean, I feel good about it. I'm not, like, excited because I don't think the Eagles are going to be very good for the next few years. And he could just be, like, a stopgap coach. But he has potential, so, I mean, what do you think about it?
I mean, it sounds good to me. The Colts were, from what I don't know much about him personally, but I know the Colts were pretty good this year with a dud team, basically. Not a great team. And they did pretty well, and they went pretty far, so.
Yeah, he did well with Phillip Rivers. He's done well with Andrew Luck. He's a good quarterbacks coach. He coaches the quarterback pretty well and the receivers. So that's what we need. I think it's kind of like he's similar to Doug in the sense that, you know, he wasn't highly touted. Like, when they hired Doug, I thought it was, like, the worst decision ever, and it turned out to be great. And that's what happens a lot with coaching. Like, you'll see around the league a lot of the years, like, the top profile guys go in somewhere and don't do a great job, and then the guys that flew under the radar do better. So, I mean, I just think they went about it really bad. It was so dysfunctional. They interviewed, like, I don't know, 20 candidates, which is fine, but I thought they had a guy in mind. And I don't think from the start, once they fired Doug, they had this plan all along. I think they kind of fell into it. I don't think, like, oh, well, we're going to fire Doug and hire Nick Sirianni. Like, it's not, that wouldn't be smart. So I think they kind of didn't get their guy, and then they fell into this guy, which I don't think is a bad thing, but it's not like, it's just dysfunctional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's interesting. It was an interesting choice. I didn't see that coming. I don't think anyone else did either.
Yeah, I mean, it was between him, Deuce, and what's his name, Josh McDaniels, which I'm kind of glad they didn't go that way because he's kind of a prick. But maybe that's what they need. I don't know. And, you know, unfortunately, they want someone they can control and tell what to do because we're very close to the Cowboys in the sense of our ownership controls even the game day rosters and stuff like that. So it's not going to get much better until Roseman's gone, but I'm not, like, mad about it.
All right. Well, I think not much else to say about the Eagles. Nothing else happened crazy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
No other news around the league. I don't think there was some baseball news, not baseball season, but the Mets.
Yeah, they made a big trade. Oh, well, they made a big trade a couple weeks ago, but then their GM got caught.
Yeah.
Sending nude photos, right?
Yeah. So the GM was sending nude photos to, I think, some sports analyst, like female sports analyst or something. I'm not sure who it was. But he sent her like 90 nude pics or like 90 missed texts. I don't know. That's all.
Like unsolicited, right? Like she didn't ask for them.
Yeah, no, she did not want them, and he just kept sending them. So he's gone. He gone.
Well, he should.
That's crazy.
That's
ridiculous. It's tough to be a woman out here in sports, but that is rough.
Yeah, I mean, what were you thinking? Like, just because you're a high-profile person doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want.
Right. No one wants a dick pic. No one. Not even if they say they want one, they don't actually want one. They're just being nice.
I don't like dick pics, though. I don't want dick pics.
I don't want dick pics either. All right, so I think that was really the major news around the sports world. Okay, so I guess let's move right into science.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's do it.
Okay, so the top story last week in science, I don't know if you saw this, but a man injected magic mushrooms into his veins, so into his bloodstream. Usually, mushrooms are taken by eating them. Yeah. Or in a tea.
Yeah, normally.
He took the tea and he injected it into his veins. He was a 30-year-old, and he almost died from this. He had multiple organ failure. They actually found that the mushrooms were starting to grow within his bloodstream somehow. So this is crazy.
That's crazy, yeah.
Don't ever inject mushrooms into your veins.
Just take them like a normal person.
And also, there's a lot of benefits to hallucinogenics, especially with mental health. But this is all done under a physician. So if that's something you're interested in, you can go to a doctor's office and talk about that. But you should not be injecting yourself with liquid mushrooms.
No. And if you want to do it for the health benefits, just microdose. Like, don't inject yourself.
I don't know what, people do crazy things. This was the craziest story. I couldn't believe they were actually starting to seed in his body. That was the craziest part.
I've never heard of that before. Yeah, that's crazy.
And so I think they're still treating him. So he's okay, but he's in critical condition.
Well,
yeah, they're having to give him like antifungal treatment basically because he gave himself a fungus. You know what I mean? Like mushrooms are a fungus. I don't think people know like that. Okay, so that was a crazy story. The other big story is that scientists are starting to find that the gut bacteria may impact your reaction to COVID, which is pretty interesting. So it's been known that the gut microbiome plays a role in everything you do, mental health, physical health, mood, anything. And so there's a bunch of little microorganisms in there, if you didn't know. And there's 100, not 100, 1,000 different species of bacteria probably just in your gut. And that's why you take things like yogurt and probiotics to diversify your gut microbiome. Healthy microbes are good.
Diversify your portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. Diversify your gut. You want your gut to be happy and healthy. And microbes are really good. You need them. And so, however, there are bad microbes that can start growing if you don't treat your body well. And so certain people with these types of microbes seem to react poorly to COVID. So they might have that, how COVID has this vast difference in symptoms. It might be partially due to your microbiome of your gut, which impacts your entire body.
So is that your diet?
Correct.
And
diet.
What would be specifically like too much red meat, too much like processed foods? I don't know. What would...
It can be a lot of those types of things, or a lot of sugar, a lot of bad fats, saturated fats, trans fats, things like that. But the other part is that those are okay in moderation as long as you're also taking some type of probiotic or something to promote gut health. So that comes in vitamins. I just eat yogurt every day or so. Kombucha is really good. But you want to look for yogurts that have the probiotics, that have like the live cultures in them. And also don't eat a bunch of this at once. You'll be gassy.
Yeah.
So it's good for you, but it will bloat you if you ingest everything all at once. Your body's not used to all of that. But yeah, so keep your gut happy and healthy. Stay active. Don't just be sitting around all the time. You want good blood flow, obviously. And so scientists are now starting to test this to see if antibiotics are helpful or it may negatively impact you. So things like that.
Interesting.
And I'm trying to check my notes here.
We got a cat now? A cat, a co-author?
Yeah. So this is the last thing I wanted to talk about because this was funny. So this resurfaced in the science field this week. I don't know why. But it happened in 1975. It just was brought up. I guess no one really noticed it before. But there's a cat that is the co-author of an influential physics paper. A cat.
Like, just because they said
I will explain. So, Jack Hetherington and F.D.C. Willard published a paper together in Physical Review, and it's a view into atomic behavior, so atoms, and it has been cited many times, but only one of its authors are human. So F.D.C. Willard is actually the cat, and his owner added the cat as the co-author, when he realized that he was the sole author, but he had written "we" throughout the paper. So like in science, we always write, "we did this," because usually it's a lab as a collective. We did this. It's never I, really, as in science papers. Like I found, it's usually we found this. Our lab collectively found this.
Yeah.
But he realized that he didn't have any other co-authors, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes you are the sole author, especially if you're writing a review or something. And so instead of going through the paper and fixing all of the we's, he was too lazy and he put his cat's name.
So he did all the research with his cat, and then he...
No, he didn't. The cat didn't... He put "we" by accident throughout the paper, and he didn't feel like going back to change it. So he added...
I don't blame him. That's kind of cool.
That's hilarious.
That's a funny name for a cat, though.
F.D.C. Willard.
F.D.C.
I don't know how today that wouldn't fly, because now you have to write like affiliations. I mean, maybe it would. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think so. But they got away with it, and there's a co-author. There's a cat co-author. So go science.
Hey, that's so they just found it like recently, or it's been they know
it just resurfaced. I mean, I'm sure they knew. It just like resurfaced, and it popped up in like science pop culture news.
Makes sense.
But that's all the science I have for you guys this week.
You want to get into old Sleepy Joe?
So we have a new president as of yesterday. Everything went well, thankfully.
Yes.
A lot of great performances. We had poetry. Everyone was happy. Positive vibes. It's just like a different... It's like a 180.
It's a different vibe.
It's just so much more positive. There's already been tons of changes. Everything's been reversed, basically. Yeah. We're back in the Paris Climate Agreement. Yeah. We're back with the World Health Organization. We're, I forget what else. He signed like a bunch of stuff yesterday. Like he's already started doing a lot, and he has a lot of plans. They froze student loans still, which is super nice.
And they said they might take off $10,000 from student loans for people.
Yeah.
If not
I'm like,
more.
That's fine with me.
Hey, and my thing is like, I hope they can get shit done. You know, it seems like they're coming in and they're ready to.
They're coming in hot.
And I never paid attention to like the other presidents, and there was the social media presence wasn't obviously a thing for like Bush or Obama really. So there was never that connection. But now like you see, Biden already has his Twitter. He's already tweeting stuff, and it seems like there's a plan. There's unity instead of just like. And I'm not someone who blames everything on Trump. You know, like I think he's just he just shows the problem. But there's already like so much more professionalism and everything, and like we're gonna have a plan. I already did this. I did that. Like, and I think now with social media, these politicians are more. They're held more accountable because it's like, well, what are you doing? Like, and everybody has a voice now, so everybody's tweeting or like, and there's and people are not more powerful, but with the internet, they kind of have more power to share their voice and be like, why isn't this happening? And then they can talk to senators, they can talk to, the press secretary, they can do this, that, whatever. So I think it's pretty cool, and it's good to see they're trying to do stuff. Now, I'm not saying they will get everything done, but it's a good start.
Yeah, I agree. They're coming in hot, and they know that people need changes and want them now, because everyone's fed up with everything, with everyone on both sides. It's just been a hot mess, and now it's time to clean up.
Yeah, I mean it's just. Did you see?
Oh wait, the memes. Did you see all the memes?
Well, Bernie Sanders, but no. Did you see? Who was it? Ted Cruz. He tweeted out, Biden cares more about the citizens of Paris than he does about Pittsburgh. And everyone's like, that the Paris Climate Accord has nothing to do with Paris. It was just signed in Paris. Like, I hope like he doesn't think, I hope that's not his thinking. Like, it has nothing to do with Paris.
I don't think he thinks that. I think maybe he was trying to make a joke.
No, he was being serious. Like, he was just being like kind of an asshole. I don't know. Either way,
I don't know what to say to that.
It's just like, either way, I'm like, you're cool, man. Like, do you, I guess.
The These people in power. Oh
Yeah,
my
Bernie
God.
though. Bernie was great. I've seen so many memes.
Everyone has seen it by now. Bernie just even a dress coat. Man of the people, really.
I'm gonna try to put Bernie right here, like in the videos. You're just gonna be sitting on top of the video.
Yeah, that'd be funny. If you can, you really should do
I
that.
think
Please.
I should be able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like looked so miserable. He wasn't miserable, but he's just like.
Yeah, he's cold. He's like, all right, I got shit to do. We got shit to do, guys. Come on.
Yeah, it's so funny. I've seen hundreds of memes.
So many like old like famous photos of him like in the background or.
And he's had that coat for like both times or something. He wore it to another event.
Yeah. That was the highlight of the day, probably. That was hilarious.
Yeah. Bernie doesn't give a fuck. Okay, I guess the last thing is I don't know if you want to talk about Bitcoin this episode or if you want to save it for next episode.
Well, I think it's very important that we talk about this, and I'm not gonna try to tell you exactly what it is. So what I am gonna do is, and I'm not trying to like promote them or say you should listen to the whole thing, but on the Joe Budden podcast, one of my favorite podcasts. This is not an ad. I think I sent you the times in the group chat.
Yeah.
So they brought a guy on. I don't know who he is specifically. He seems like he knows what he's talking about. He is a finance guy. He's a professional, not some random guy. So episode 408 of the Joe Budden podcast. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I mean, not Spotify, SoundCloud. Start listening at 1 hour and 24 minutes. And I think it's for about a half hour. He breaks down Bitcoin great. And he pretty much, I didn't really know what it was. And it's booming right now. Everyone's talking about it. It's starting to become a huge trend. And he breaks it down in layman's terms so anybody can understand it. Everyone should go listen to that or just look into Bitcoin itself, because the way he explained it in as much confidence as he had, it seems like it's going to be the currency, a global currency in the future. Probably well into the future, but eventually Bitcoin will take over.
I'm skeptical, but I'll listen. But
he pretty much described it as Bitcoin is something that is not like the dollar. So he pretty much said, if you put $100 in the bank, okay, and you just left it in the bank, that money is just decreases in value over time, years after years. And that $100 in 10 years is not even, is probably worth what, $80, because the price of living goes up, inflation goes up. So that $100 is not really $100 anymore when you put it in there. So he said with Bitcoin, it's kind of like, how do you explain it? See, this is why I didn't want to explain it. He explained it as something that's always going to go up, and it's not ever going to decrease in value. It's either going to stay the same or go up. Now, obviously, the stock market is volatile, so it'll go to 40 to 30 to 50 to 40 to 60 to 40. But it's going to keep going up. And he said by the end of the year, it should easily be 100,000. And he said he has 95% of his income in Bitcoin, because it's something that you can, over time, you can give to your kids. You can give to, it's pretty much like a savings account in a way where it's an investment at the same time. So now you're seeing. Sorry, go ahead.
So if I want to buy Bitcoin,
yeah,
how much is Bitcoin then?
So Bitcoin right now is 31,000, but you don't buy unless you have 31,000 to spend. You don't really buy a full Bitcoin. You buy a percentage of it.
Okay, that's why I was like, who's buying a whole Bitcoin?
Yeah, and he pretty much said, if you want to put $20, just start putting $20 in every time you get paid. And then that money will be way more and more valuable instead of just putting it in the bank. Because it's he pretty much made it seem like it's a guarantee that it's always going to be going up or staying the same. But like I said, the market is volatile, so sometimes it'll be 60-40, and then it'll go up to 80, 60.
So it's something that you will keep in the stock market and never really take out.
Yes, unless you have
or sell.
Or unless you want to retire and you don't want to leave anything for anybody, and you can sell a certain amount. If you were, say, you needed money needed some liquid money that you needed to spend on whatever, you could sell a portion of it and get the money from it. But it is taxed, so you don't want to. It's something where you put it in, and then you leave it in there for the long run for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and then eventually it's going to be worth way more than what the bank's interest is going to give you.
Even if I opened up something like a Roth IRA?
Potentially, yeah. It's gonna give you more than bonds, especially if you get in right now, then yes. And I already bought $20 worth. I'm gonna try to put $20 worth in like every week. So.
All right. Well.
But yeah, go listen. He explains it way better than me. I'm just kind of glossing over what he said. He pretty much described it as like something like real estate. So you buy a property and you put the money in the property because you know that in the long run, in 10, 20 years, that property value is going to go up however much percent. And you're going to say you put 100,000 in 30 years, it could be worth 300,000 or 400 or $1 million, whatever it is. That's how he kind of explained it, where it's like you buy, I don't know, something like that, something along those lines, where it's always going to increase and not going to decrease.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I'll think about it.
No, I think like honestly, everyone should just be putting some money into it. Not saying you should put your whole income into it, but now people are like, there's an NBA player, Spencer Dinwiddie, that I think he gets I don't know about his whole salary, but he gets paid in Bitcoin.
Really?
Yeah, because you figure, look.
But you can't buy anything with Bitcoin yet, right?
No,
like I can't go buy a TV with my Bitcoin.
But you can, like, so I bought Bitcoin through Cash App. And if, say, you sent me a TV and I wanted to sell you 0.001 or $10 worth of Bitcoin for that, I could do that. You can do that through Cash App, which is pretty cool.
Okay, so it's like a stock it's like a stock but not a stock, and it can just be given.
It is a stock, pretty much. Like, the value isn't centralized. Like, it's not owned by one person. It's kind of just like a thing. I don't know. It's hard to wrap.
It's so weird. It's just an entity there that
it's not owned by anybody.
They like decide what the price is. I don't know. It's so weird.
Well, no, they don't decide. It's just like a normal stock market. When people buy, people sell. It goes up and down.
Okay.
But right now, like I said, it went up to 40 and it went back down to 30. So I was like, I'm gonna buy some. It's gonna keep going up. But like it's like the normal stock market, so it's gonna go up and down.
Goes up and down. Yeah. I know that. I mean, I keep my money in no matter what. So
yeah, and either way, and it's a good lesson. You should be investing. Probably, I mean, if you can, you should be investing like half of your money into stocks, bonds, Bitcoin, whatever it is, because that money is worth way more in the market than it is going to be in your bank. You have a higher chance of getting more money in the long run if you put it and invest. And not saying you should invest in all the risky stocks, but if you invest in safe stuff, you'll be good, and it's going to get you way more than a bank the bank interest. So invest.
Yeah, but better than a saving. A savings is I'm probably going to take my money out of savings and like put it into a Roth IRA, honestly.
Because like I said, the interest they gave you still there?
I'm here.
The interest they gave you is not equal to the inflation. So over time, just keeping money in the savings account, you're losing money technically.
I know. I'm not. I need to go. I'm planning to go to the bank and talk to them about opening a Roth IRA. That's my next goal.
Yeah.
2021, making moves.
And if you can afford a financial advisor, everyone should have a financial advisor, or at least talk to someone. Because a lot of people don't know this. It should be taught in school, but it's not. And so go talk to somebody.
No, I mean, I've had to teach myself. The parents don't teach us.
That's kind of why I wanted a finance degree, because I knew how important it was, and I know a lot of people don't know a lot about it. So you kind of have even if I don't get a finance job, I don't really need a finance job because I can invest on my own, and I know a lot of stuff people don't know or are willing to learn. So. Yeah,
it sucks. I had to teach myself over COVID, which is something I did, and just kind of learn about the stock market and
Robinhood, man.
What to.
It's easy.
Yeah. That's what I have, and that's what I use. And I'm not investing like tons of money. I'm just, here and there.
But yeah, Bitcoin is up and coming. It's always been kind of like, what is Bitcoin? It's just some random thing, and people are making a lot of money off of it. But yeah, definitely look into it. Super important, and I really do think some type of cryptocurrency in the future, whether it's Bitcoin or another one, will be the next source of currency.
Well, we about to be in the Hunger Games if you saw Lady Gaga's outfit that she sang at the Inauguration.
Oh, yeah, all the memes for that, too.
Oh man. Okay, we need to move on because we are getting past time here. So this is gonna be music reviews. I don't think we have any Philly sports stuff to talk about. Nothing
Yeah.
else really going on.
Nope.
Okay, so you gave me Barely Trev,
Yes.
and he is so underground and new.
Yeah.
There's no bio, there's no wiki, so I couldn't really dig too much. I know that he's from Minneapolis. And he has like 20,000 monthly listeners, so he's kind of like on the come up a little.
Yeah.
But I thought his album name was clever.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it at first. I was
How you
like,
spelled it out?
I was like, Rum Tea Love. And it's like,
what is
no.
Rum Tea Love?
It's like, Are You Empty Love?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you empty? Yeah.
And I read it. It's kind of like the show, the movie The Wonders, and they call them the O-Neaters.
Yeah.
It's that same thing. I was like, Rum Tea Love. And then I was like, oh, and then he like explains it in the beginning of the album. But I'll go ahead and say, first off, my favorite song is Home, which I think is the third song on the album.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably my favorite as well.
And it's like his alternative song, I would say. So he has tons of different sounds. He starts off with kind of this West Coast rap almost, I would say.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. And then it suddenly switched, and like the next few songs, you hear this alternative vibe, and then it kind of goes back to rap again. So it's kind of like, it flows between those two, rap and alternative, I would say, which is pretty cool. I like the sound. I like his sound. It's different, and I've noticed this from a lot of new artists that they're trying to be very versatile.
Yeah, you have to be now, yeah.
There's no, and you know, I think we've talked about this before a while ago, that genres are kind of blending now, and I really don't think it's not gonna be a hard line anymore what genre is what. I mean, obviously, like, hardcore rap is hardcore rap, but genres are blending, people are doing both, which is super fun, because sometimes I want to listen to rap, and sometimes I want to listen to, like, chill vibes. And it's nice to not have to switch between, like, different artists to get that. My favorite artists, like John Mayer and Dave Matthews, they're the same sound. I can't, like, switch their song and get some, like...
A lot of the songs are pretty much not the same, but the same vibe, yeah.
Right, so, and I love them dearly. But I like what's happening now, and I'm open to this new wave of, you know, alternative and versatility.
Yeah, it's really good. Like I said, I've never met him in person, but we know each other online. Seems like a really good dude. Makes really good music. And it's probably, like, for underground artists, probably one of my favorite albums of the year. I think he does a good job of, you know, transitioning from rap to alternative, and it's a good story too, So, and moving on, you gave me Phoenix, which I said I didn't know last week, but I didn't know their name. I know their songs. So, with that being said, I would say, and they haven't put anything out in
No.
Yeah, which sucks. Their last album was kind of weird, so maybe that's why. I don't know. It just sounded kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, they have that same sound as who'd you compare it to before?
Passion Pit.
Yeah, Passion Pit. It's alternative pop, like, very, like, good vibes, like, joyful, like, stuff you play at, like, a kickback late at night, like, just chilling, summertime vibes. I really enjoy it. Like I said, I've heard them before, but I went back to listen to some of their, like, B-side, like, non-hit stuff, and they have a lot of range. It's not just the hits; they have a lot of cool songs and different sounds. So I would give them a 7.5 out of 10. Now, they have some really big hits, but there's some songs that aren't very good, so that's why I give them a 7.5. If they had more consistency, I would give them a higher grade. But I think, what's it called? I think, you know, they had those, 2 or 3 songs that everybody knows. And other than that, they don't have a lot of popular songs. So,
yeah.
But either way, I enjoy them. It's a good vibe. You can put them on, cleaning the house, just kicking back, doing whatever you want to do, smoking, drinking. It's good for any occasion. So 7.5 out of 10. It's not anything crazy, but it's not bad music, and it's you know, very above average good music. So yeah, Phoenix.
I was hoping you could find some. I was hoping that you would do some deep dive and figure out what happened to them, because I liked them a lot, and
See, I forgot to do that, honestly. I didn't even do any research. Hold on, I'm going to do that right now.
terrible. No,
I
it's
know
okay.
No, I'm doing it right now. Phoenix band.
Oh man.
All right. So they're from France. Did you know that?
I didn't. See, this is why we need the deep
They came from
dives.
France. What else? Let's see.
They don't sound French at all. Well, maybe that's why they're weird.
Yeah,
No offense.
they do.
That was a joke.
I can hear it now. Let's see. Did they break up? The band performed residency shows in July 2020 during a Pitchfork live stream on YouTube, which replayed their concert from 2017. Band members gave commentary. The band teased new music will release soon, with the song already on the horizon a few weeks away. So,
Oh.
I mean, that was July though. So maybe they.
What happened? So where's the music?
Where they at though? Let's see.
Where they at though?
Unless I missed it on Spotify, I'm gonna check. But
No, I don't think I saw that either.
yeah, because I checked for new stuff.
Oh yeah, I did too. I mean, August 19th, they had Identical from the motion picture On the Rocks. That was their latest release.
So yeah, maybe they have an album coming out. They might have wanted to wait because I feel like these guys are really good, like festival acts.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, big for shows and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully they have some new music coming out, and I'm excited for that. So
We'll see.
we shall see.
All right, I think that's all we have.
What time are we at? You have the time?
I can't tell. I can't tell on the phone. I can't tell on...
Ah,
GarageBand doesn't tell you the time. It gives you like seconds.
the numbers.
It's like we've been going for 12,000 seconds. I don't know.
I have that same number on mine too on Logic. All right, well, we will be back next week to talk about the Super Bowl and give our Super Bowl picks.
Yes.
Will Tom be back? Will Tom be the first quarterback ever to play in his home stadium? I kind of want to see that, so I picked Tom, and I'm not betting against Tom. We will be talking about random stuff, science, anything.
Science never sleeps.
Science never sleeps. Sports never sleeps. It's been real. It's been fun. Hasn't been real fun. See you next week. Peace.
Peace.
You got it, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got me.